Hey guys, and welcome back to the Graceful Tangle YouTube channel. I'm so glad to finally be with you today, taking you on a tour of my yarn room, yarn stash, and all that goes into all of the yarny goodness that I have in this room. So before we get started, let me just give you a couple of things to be aware of, I guess, and disclaimers. So first off, this is my bedroom. So I am currently 18 and I'll be starting college in the fall. However, because I'm going to a college that is so close to home, I am not moving out, which is a blessing. But that does mean that though I like to kind of call this my yarn room, it is still my bedroom. So you'll see my bed and my nightstand and my dresser and just things like that that are that are usually in a bedroom. So kind of take that into account, and that is a little bit private, but I wanted to take you on a tour of my yarn stash anyways. So I'll be focusing on all of the yarn stuff, and I'm going to start by taking you on a tour of my whole room so that you can kind of see it all together, and then I'm going to focus on each shelf and kind of show you how I organize all of my yarn. So I'm so excited to be doing this. I know this has been a highly requested video, and I'm so happy that I finally get to share it all with you. So without further ado, let's get started. Alrighty, so let's start with a little bit of a panorama of my entire room. Let me start off by saying that this is a window right here, and I know that it's causing that whole section to kind of blow out, but it really helps with the lighting of everything else, so we're just going to kind of work with what we got here. But anyway, so when you first walk in my room, you can see my nightstand, bed, my dresser is over on the other side of my bed, and then we have my bookshelf. Then over on this wall is where all of the exciting stuff happens. So we have my 3 big yarn shelves, my desk, bulletin board, and then up on the top of those shelves are these plastic storage bins that I use to hold all of my things to complete projects, such as like ribbon, buttons, safety eyes, things like that. And then I also have some stickers for planning, project bags, other needles and crochet hooks, some craft supplies, things like that. And then again, there's all the yarn shelves, which I will go into a lot more detail on here in just a minute. And then we have my closet, and then this shelf. So this has my sewing machine, and then down below is some yarn. So let's talk about this little section first. Okay, so this shelf holds most of my cake yarns, and then new skeins of large acrylic balls such as Crafter's Secret, I Love This Yarn, Red Heart, those sort of things. So these two down here hold Yarn Bee Sugar Wheel cakes, and then the Yarn Bee Delish Boutique cakes, which is the alpaca blend. And then we have some Bernat Pops. There's some mandala on here, I think in those two covers as well. And then these are like just new skeins of acrylic. So, and then above that I have my yarn ball winder, as you can see, and then my sewing machine. And then behind my yarn ball winder there is my pin cushion. And then I have this shelf above that has, these are some bird statues that were my great-grandmother's, and I love having them on display. And then we have this cute little sign that my a friend made me. So yeah, that's one shelf I really love. I really love this shelf. Ideally, like if it could happen, I guess my dream would be to have the entire my entire wall filled with these type of shelves instead of what I actually have. But I am so grateful for what I do have. I just really love how sleek these shelves look. Okay, so here is another panorama of the yarn shelves specifically. I have 9 shelves in total, stacked 3 on 3 for 3 times. And I will talk a little bit more about where I got these shelves and all of that good stuff in just a little bit. First, let's talk about how I like to organize my yarn on these 2 shelves. Okay, so the main thing that I use to categorize yarn is content. For me, I like being able to easily tell what content and what weight versus the color. The color is I mean, I've learned to tell, what's alpaca and what's acrylic and what's wool, but it's always easy to tell the color difference. And so instead of organizing it by just going like rainbow order, reds, oranges, and so on, I chose to organize it more by content and fiber content. So this first shelf is all of my cotton and cotton blends. So we have some Lion Brand Flicka. I love this cotton from Hobby Lobby. Some other random cotton blends that I've gotten on clearance at other stores and things like that. This second shelf is alpaca. So most of this is also from Hobby Lobby. This is the Andes alpaca line up on these two shelves. Then down here we have some nitpicks. This is some wool, 100% wool, and then this is all wool on this bottom, and then these three are also some alpaca blends. And then down here we have some more specialty yarn. So this is like thread, some single ply. I have the Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK, which I definitely use more of as a fingering weight. But I have that, and then some tulle, some of this pom-pom yarn. Most of this is stuff that once it's gone, I will not be able to get again, except for the Soft and Sleek DK that is readily available at my local Hobby Lobby. And then this second shelf right here, so a yarn store near me went out of business in January, and I was able to purchase all or most of this yarn. This is Cascade Pacific, which is an wool and acrylic blend. This is all of the worsted weight. So these top three layers is all that yarn, and then these four, I actually have some hand dyed that I got at that store as well. This is some that was given to me, and then this is leftover hand dyed from a sample knit, and then some other hand dyed that I won in a giveaway. Then on this second one, this is the bulky weight version of the Cascade Pacific yarn. And then up at the top, this first layer, it used to be completely filled with that yarn. However, I made a huge project last month, kind of overlapping, I guess. But anyway, I use a ton of this yarn for that big blanket project. And so now I have refilled it with all of this Knit Picks yarn. Eventually, I will be combining all of the Knit Picks yarn into one place, and I can film a separate video for that if you'd like. Just let me know. But as of right now, it's just all on this row. And then down below here, I have some other bulky weights. So these are almost all bulky weights. They're mostly all acrylic as well. I just liked to kind of put all my bulky weight together. Alrighty, now let's talk about my desk. So I spend so much time sitting in this chair at my desk, whether it be working and editing videos, designing patterns, knitting, all of the above. This is where I spend the majority of my time every day. So this desk actually matches my bed, which you can kind of see the corner of right here. It matches, and I really love that because it kind of brings the whole room together. So I have normal, desk stuff in the drawers. I'm not going to go through all of that. If you would like a kind of tour of how I organize that, let me know in the comments below. But I'm not going to go over that in this video. You will see this basket down here. I will go over that layer as well, but I like to keep that right by me. That has all of my cases in it with all of my notions, crochet hooks, and knitting needles. It's just so handy to have those right by me. And then above my desk, I have my bulletin board. Now, a bulletin board is not something that I have always had. However, I love having it, whether it is being able to put my favorite cards or pictures on it, or even notes on patterns that I'm testing or designing. It's so handy just to pin a few things on there and have it in my face kind of all the time. I also like to keep a few things on my desk. I know some people like to have a completely clean desk. I'm not really one of those people. I like it to be mostly clean, but I like having these little cups that you can sort of see. One has pens and pencils, and one has some needles and crochet hooks that I'm still using. And I really like having those on my desk. And then this little basket is actually from Uganda. My best friend got it for me. And I love it. It has some swatches and yarn labels and things like that in it, just to have, you know, kind of close by when I am working on projects. You'll also probably recognize this chair. That is where I record all of my videos in, and I sit in this corner right over here that you can almost see. I sit right there to record all my videos, and so, yeah, I love having a desk. I love being able to spend so much time at it, and it's just so nice to have a designated place to work. Okay, so for this last and final yarn shelf, this is probably the one that y'all are most familiar with, because this is where I sit and record most of my videos, right in this little corner, so you can kind of see this half of the shelf. So what I organize here, this top shelf is mostly specialty yarns. So I have some fuzzy, furry yarns, I have a little bit of velvet, just things like that. The second one is mostly acrylic, so these are also mostly new skeins. Some of them are reused. All of this is Bravo Worsted and Sport. I have some Yarn Bee Rustic Romantic at the top, which is one of my all-time favorites. So this last shelf is all acrylic cakes of yarn. These are skeins of yarn that I have used most of the skein, and so now I have just wound them into cakes. I'm actually planning a project to use almost all of these. It's always good to have some white and black and like gray on hand, but I honestly don't love all of this yarn, and so I would like to kind of use it up as soon as possible. And so I'm planning a big blanket project, and I'm hoping that I can get that started soon and that it works out the way that I want. Okay, so this last little section is the space in between my bed, which you can see the corner of right here. The last little space is in between my bed and my wall and my window. So over here I have my bookshelf. This holds almost all of my books. So I have notebooks, which I use for making lists and taking notes on designing patterns. My favorite books to read for like enjoyment. And then I have all of my knitting and crochet books on these two shelves. These are stitch pattern books, all of the above. These are so handy. I love having a physical book to reference. And then on this last shelf is some more books for like enjoyment. There are some knit and crochet books down there. I also have some older Nancy Drew books that I, love to read, but I'm kind of past that, I guess. Anyway, so some other fun enjoyment books. And then this little basket tier thing. So these first two hold some whips and then the giveaway package. And then this one holds chargers and cables and things like that that I'm not using currently, but are need to be easily accessible. Then I have my mannequin, Mavis, in this bag that holds all of my project bags, and then of course my dresser, and then this other drawer organizer that I hold some other bedroom things, such as like toiletries and things like that. So yeah, and you can see my boho blush wall hanging, which I love. It holds all of my earrings. I just love having that there. Again, I know the lighting isn't perfect, but I promise it would be worse if the shade was closed. Alrighty, so I hope that you have enjoyed watching this yarn room tour video. I thought it would take just a few minutes to kind of go over a little bit of the details with my face in front of the camera, so that you can see my face and be able to understand a little bit more what I'm saying. So let me mention these shelves one more time, just so that you know if you would like. The ones behind me came from Walmart. These are just 16 cubby shoe organizers. One cubby is one, so where this bar ends, and then there's a set of 16 cubbies, and then I have 3 stacked on top of each other. And they just work so well. It's not, I guess the perfect dream, but for right now they serve their purpose, and they're also very affordable. So it's not as expensive as buying, super nice wooden shelves. But also yarn isn't heavy, and so these shelves aren't damaged by holding yarn. They just aren't holding a whole lot of weight, which is, they're good. They work perfectly for what I need them to. Alright, so there's some more details about the shelves. Yarn. So I have bought a good portion of my yarn on clearance at Hobby Lobby or other stores like I said earlier, I'm 18. I am, on a budget. I don't have, as this is soon to change, I guess, but I do not have like a steady job right now. My dream career is just to be able to make designing, knitting, and crochet patterns and partnering with companies to make that my career. So right now I am just enjoying life at home and under the huge blessing of my parents to be able to kind of kickstart my business. But that being said, clearance is just such a good way to purchase yarn if need be. I don't always work with the highest quality materials, but that's not always what matters. It matters what you make of that, what you make of those materials as well. So yeah, that's definitely where I've gotten most of my yarn. Now, kind of going on the next step of that, I am definitely working towards condensing my stash. I mean, I love having a yarn stash and I do not want that to change, but I'm in the process of condensing it and being able to use yarns that reflect what patterns I like to put out and my kind of style as I continue to learn what that is. I have grown so much this year as a small business owner and also a person. I mean, so much has happened. So I am kind of, I guess, condensing my yarn stash is like another way to do that, even though it sounds completely silly. I completely realize that, but that's definitely something that I am working towards. Condensing and being more streamlined is kind of what I am working toward. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you have enjoyed this yarn room tour. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything that you would like me to go into more detail about, any other, I don't know, tours, like anything like that that you would like to see in the future. I will be doing a video on how I organize all of my knit and crochet tools and notions, so I will go into more detail about those storage bins on the top of these shelves that I talked about a little bit in this video, and then I will also talk about how I store my needles and crochet hooks and things like that. So that'll be in a separate video so that this one isn't, crazy long or anything like that. But yeah, just let me know if you have any other questions. I am so happy to finally be getting this video out for you guys. So if you haven't already, I would love it if you took a quick moment to subscribe to my channel, and then don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you get notified each and every time I upload a video. I also have all of my social media information in the description box below, so make sure you follow me out on Instagram and my other platforms. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all again next time. Bye!